hard. You're funny as shit. Let's go. What's happening, y'all? This is Waeve, owner of We Are Equally Valuable. Here today with my boy Sway, and we're gonna talk about the brand a little bit. Well, clothing, for one, off the rip, speaks about yourself, right? So it's like you can already tell kind of what somebody's into, or at least if y'all gonna be somewhat on the same level by how you dressing. If there's somebody dressed up in a suit and you out there with basketball shorts, you're probably not on the same timing, you know? So off of that, it's just a form of communication that resonates with me. So that's kind of what got me into, wanting to start finding out more about clothes, start making my own clothes, and yeah, man.
Right, like the key to creativity
Hmm.
is like finding the discipline
Yeah.
and the surrender.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for one, creativity is going to come from a higher place, right? So if you have your energies all blocked and whatnot from the rip, your creativity is going to be blocked. So I think creativity starts with meditation, clearing the mind, whether that's going out to take a walk or sitting in silence, maybe, some gigahertz, 432, things like that, just to soothe yourself and get in the right mindset. And then with anything, it takes discipline, right? If you want something, you're going to have to go out and get it. You can't sit here and continuously allow life's distractions to pull you away from your purpose. So, yeah, it's like having the discipline to indulge in it on a regular basis, but also not pushing it too much to a point where you're not feeling creative, right? I have an example like with music. This actually what brought me from music to clothing. It just got to a point where I was being disciplined and doing it every day, but by me doing that, it was blocking my creativity. I didn't want to, make certain beats. I felt like I had to create certain sounds to appeal to, my YouTube and things like that. So you got to have that discipline to work on your craft, but also have a balance to allow your creativity to naturally flow so the best results can come. You can always sit there and want to do something, but if you block, you're just gonna create trash.
What fuels creativity for you? What are your influences? What are
Hmm. I mean, it's definitely life experience. It's not a specific one, right? Like I pull from so many different ways, bro. It could be hardship, right? And then like off the rip right now, I'm thinking like if I was going through something hard in life, I'm gonna pull from that and create something that maybe something distressed, right? Like some distressed clothing and bring it from there. But creativity can be pulled from anything as long as you tapped in and thinking different and on your individuality. You can pull inspiration from this color right here, this purple, this royal feeling. It's like it really can be pulled from thin air. But life experience is definitely something that is going to bring me. I want to do another one though because I was still about me.
no, just
What's going to make you feel something so much that you want to pour that into a craft? And that could be relationships, that can be, a death of a family member or a close friend, something that really makes you like, all right, I got to make a change or I got to shift, and it's going to shift your energy. Once you do that, boom.
okay. So how has semen retention fueled and inspired, and what kind of role has it had in your creative process?
Yeah.
What are the things that maybe you felt when you have released your semen opposed
Mm,
to when you've held it and you've sat down and started to articulate with your clothes?
for sure. That's that. All right. So off the rip, it has increased the focus, right? Opposed to having that maybe at the end of the night, the urge to go and release. It just builds the energy, and then from there, I'm starting to think about maybe more creative ways to express myself. I'm not necessarily thinking of the outside world is something that I've noticed. I'm more honed in on who I am and what I want. And it's like, if you don't like this, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not so concerned because my focus isn't necessarily on women or again, releasing. And it's like I think it all is tied together. If you're masturbating on a regular basis, you often probably going out to try and find a shorty. You know what I mean? So it's like having that discipline and control just gives you more energy, more control towards your craft. So I've just seen that the power in my craft. I've seen the level up. Um, I've done more. You know, um, yeah.
Has it helped you connect to source
Oh,
easier?
100%.
Like derive your influences and maybe have different emotions towards things when
I think it's more like a centered gravity, right? Like I feel more centered and at peace, um, opposed to being more scattered around because your energy is depleted. That's like the main thing that I've realized. It's definitely easier to quiet my mind and keep my focus again because one track mind. You know what I mean? Like you think you could stand like over there because I am gonna look at you.
let's go.
But nah, that was solid.
That was femininity and how femininity has inspired your creativity.
Hmm. Um, Shit, in many ways. I mean, on the level of like, of semen retention and shit like that, it's like it all ties back to the feminine, to the woman, right? Often you can maybe go through a breakup or a bad relationship, and then that inspires your work in a way that you create. Look, I made a Lover Boy and Heartbreak Kid hoodie. You know what I mean? You know what that was inspired of. It's just like shit like that will, if you use it in the right way, can really inspire your work and create something higher and better. And I tend to do that with anything, not just the feminine energy, but things that we may see as negative or unwanted. It's like turning that energy around to a more peaceful and positive outcome. And you can do that through so many different art forms. It doesn't have to just be clothes. It could be music, photography, communication. It doesn't even have to be a creative outlet. It's just like you turn that not so positive energy into something better. And that's what I do with the feminine energy, bro, because out here in LA especially, you know how it goes, and it's like you just gotta stay into your zone, stay on your shit, and know what you worth. Know your worth. Don't get caught up in the cycle. You know what I mean of life. So
Let's talk about, let's stay on the LA subject.
yeah,
What is it like being a young, not fully well known yet creative
yeah.
in LA?
Shit, it's a process, man. I mean, you really got to double down on yourself, especially out here, because there's so many people doing the same shit. And like, you look too much outward, then you're gonna start questioning yourself. So it's like you gotta isolate, especially in LA. You gotta isolate yourself so that you can protect your energy. And all of this is protecting your energy. You know what I mean? That's half of what Waeve is about. Is really embracing that, you know what I mean, inner and higher power. You can't do that without protecting yours. So it's a process. It definitely kills the ego, I think, because shit, you come out here thinking you something or you gonna be something like that. Yeah. It just don't happen like that. So I think that's what it's shown me, especially is just being doubling down on myself and the way that you think, the way that you move, just like know that it's for a purpose and that you out here for a purpose. Um, but it also gives a lot of creativity. You see a lot of people doing it, so you can pull from more opposed to maybe if you were somewhere who the fuck knows, in Nebraska or something. you walk out your door, you're not gonna have that inspiration off the rip. You're gonna have to like search for it on the internet or maybe go to a hot spot in your area. But like LA, you're gonna find it anywhere, you know. So it has its good and its bad. Or let's say just higher and lower energy rather. But yeah, man, it's LA. It's definitely LA.
So how does astrology and maybe your zodiac sign and the signs that you interact with, how does that um, get involved in your creative process, and how does it, you know,
Yeah.
how do you interact with the world?
Shit. Well, I'm a Sagittarius. Um, and I don't go too deep into it because I will, and it'll fuck my head up. But I know that like something that I struggle with personally, and I know that as a Sagittarius is that freedom. I'm always searching for that freedom in many ways. So like I think it can get tough to stay on track with one thing for me, which ultimately like with the music and clothing, it's like I got pulled away. It was a big thing. Like I felt like I was leaving behind or maybe not finishing something that I started. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's just me.
Is that
Other
tough for is that tough normally for Sagittarius to start something and not
and
finish it?
not from what I know. Yeah, it's just definitely like a Sagittarius thing to like pick something up and maybe not finish it, but like you just get easily distracted. You know what I mean? Like seeking so much freedom and knowing that there's so much out there, it's hard to keep that focus on one thing. So I think as a creative and knowing that like with anything takes time, it's like embracing that and allowing it to come while not staying stagnant. You know what I mean? That's something that's me. And then shit, I'm a Pisces moon. So any Pisces or water signs out there that be hella emotional about your shit, it's like you gotta balance that as a creative, right? Like you can't be too emotional and too attached to your work because like at the end of the day, it's meant to be spread and it's gonna be seen and the opinions of others are gonna be put onto it, right? So yeah, I mean that's definitely my understanding of like Sagittarius and again the water signs and like how it shit. All right, so I'm a Sagittarius. I got a Libra rising and a water moon Pisces. So that's like fire, air, and water. You know what I mean? Like whatever that means, you can hear it. Like it's just fucking chaos, bro. So like as a creative, I mean, I think it really adds to it. But like shit, man, I don't fucking know. At the end of the day, I'm just balancing. I feel like three different personalities at time. When I go out, I'm my Libra. When I'm at home, I'm the fucking Pisces, and then who knows when I'm a Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Habits and creativity,
Mm,
and maybe some of your habits that you do to maintain and create a state of flow, and just being consistent.
yeah. So the importance of habits for me is it's the root of it all, right? It's a foundation. So whatever you're doing on a regular basis is going to be your outcome. It's going to be your reality. So some of the habits that I like to start with, for one, is like in the morning, meditating, just being quiet. I don't even like checking my phone for the first 30 minutes to an hour because just jumping into the social world and all of that is just going to cloud your brain. So as a creative, it's very important to protect your mind. You know, that's where all of your fuel is coming from, that soul, the inside. So finding ways to be clear, to find clarity. Um, so like I said, meditation, working out, and it doesn't, you don't got to go to the gym or nothing. Just get out and walk. Just be outside or be active. Do something to get that flow going. And I know you heard that plenty of times, but it's real. You know what I mean? Like there's often times where I may find blockages in my creativity, and as soon as I get out, luckily I'm in LA, so half the time it's sunny. It's like a simulation. You know what I mean? But it's like you go out, get a nice little walk in, and then you come back and you got a new idea. So yeah, meditating, working out is something I do. Um, as of lately, a habit of mine that I've been trying to focus on is eating. whether that comes with fasting or whatever. It's like focusing on that to be able to create that flow. Because as you know, food can be a blockage, especially if you're not putting the right ones into your body. So, um, yeah, just focusing on whatever you're putting into you to enhance your creative flow is something that you should focus on.
Of the people you surround yourself with within creativity and the energies you share
Mm,
when you're out in public. Can it drain you? Does it influence you? But let's talk about being around other people and other energies and how.
for sure. Well, your circle is definitely important in who you surround yourself with. I keep mine tight. You know what I mean? You, my boy Sam, there's only a few, few people that I really chill around on the regular right now. And that's because it could be me and my Pisces moon, but I do get drained from other people's energy, and I gotta decompress, spend time for myself, again, meditate, light the sage, whatever it is. But it's like it's important because if you going out and you stepping out with someone who's not aligned, then you're succumbing to maybe their ways, and you're not acting in the higher way that you may know. You know what I mean? If you tapped into this video right now, it's for a reason. You on a higher path, and it's like if you're surrounding yourself with people who may not be there, it's not a bad thing, but if you noticing it, then you may have to distance yourself. And that's what I do. I try and only go out on the weekends. If I do pop out during the week, it's with a select few, trying to make it as productive as possible. But that all goes back into that alignment and the energy that you hold within you, right? And again, as a creative, that's what we got. Our mind is a gold, you know what I mean? And we got to protect it whatever way we can. So if that's from other energies, if you got some bad energies, just separate, you know what I mean? Ask life to take them out of your life, and they will.
What are some symptoms? Like some people may not know that they're being drained by energies around
Yeah.
them. So what are some symptoms? What are some feelings someone might feel day to
Mm,
day when they around draining energies?
shit, I feel like I've been doing this for years now, so um I mean, you may just feel like a little anxious. You honestly, nah, right away, if they invite you out and you have that little question, you're like, do I want to? Probably gonna drain you. Like plain and simple. And if it doesn't drain you, it's just not gonna be your aligned purpose at that time. You know what I mean? And those are the things that you gotta start listening to, those questions that life bring up. If somebody hits you up and wants to do something and you just have that feeling inside, you're like, I don't really want to, then don't. And then that's the steps that you start taking, to be able to realize when you're being drained, the
So,
next day.
so you're basically saying anytime you step out with your friends or whatever, it should always be a fueling process. It should never feel like you should have to be doing
In the
something.
ideal world, yes, but we human, right? So it's like we gonna step out sometimes. It's not gonna fuel us for the best, but the less you do it, the more you'll realize it, right? And then the less you'll be attracted to even indulging in it. But I mean, we human though, so I ain't gonna say we should never, but you gotta limit it and have more beneficial encounters if you're looking to level up,
So what are some pieces of advice you might have for someone that's maybe not younger in age, but younger in their journey of
Yeah.
branding and finding themselves and being creative?
I would say, I mean, without sounding too cliche, is trust that intuition. Trust your intuition, you know what I mean? Try and limit the lessons that life is giving you. If you're going in the cycle, try and limit it with your discipline, with your action. Listen to what it is that life is speaking to you, because the quicker you do that, the quicker it flows, the quicker the things that you want out of this life are going to come. So if you're fighting the situation, maybe you playing basketball, because that's what I used to do. And I was just trying to hone off on the music, and it's like, nah, just go ahead, do it. If it's calling you, go ahead. Because now, years later, I'm making clothes, and I'm happier than I would have been just playing basketball for some college that I ain't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? So it's like, listen to that intuition. Try and take time to yourself. Don't be a people pleaser. You know, you're definitely the most important one on this planet. So everybody else, they could take a back seat for a little bit until you figure yours out and can, benefit the ones that are around you that care so much about you. But yeah, definitely listen to the intuition because it's gonna all follow, you know.
I guess the only word that I can think of comes to mind that I'm trying to ask is
Mm,
why. Like, why is it important to be creative? Why, between you and your relationship with God, maybe
yeah.
between you and your relationship with your family, why is it important for you and for other people to be able to transmute um, their creativity into this physical plane and this physical reality?
For me, I ain't got no choice. I'll go crazy if I don't. Like it's literally, it's not even a choice at this point. But I think we are all creative beings, in some shape or form. There's some people who have more business like minds, and are they're more beneficial in the. I don't even know. I don't relate to that world, but it's like if that's your thing, then do it. Embrace it. You can find any way to be creative within it and enhance that field. So yeah, just whatever's inside you, man, you just gotta find a way to bring it out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be creative, but for my creatives out there, you gotta find a way to put it out. And those uncomfortable feelings that you feel when you don't, is for that reason. You know what I mean? If I'm not creating and putting something out, I get anxious. I start to overthink, and it's like it's just a way to soothe my mind. So I would do it with or without money, whatever, and then at this point, I'm too far deep not to. I got to do it for my mama. I got to do it for my family. I'm just like trying to create an abundance that's way beyond me. And in this world, creativity is what does it. Creatives are the ones that are running the worlds that create the tech companies, you know what I mean? Just all of this. So if you are creative, hone into whatever you do, tap in, create that discipline, allow that flow. And yeah, man, that's my why. I got to, bro. I got to.